that the government increased the criteria to 20 millisieverts. That's why I made a decision by myself. My husband says we will keep living here because of our livelihoods, loan for our own house, and our business. I didn't give birth to my baby to make him or her ill. Many people have evacuated, but many people have also remained in Fukushima because of financial reason or because of their work. And because of that, they hadn't adequate compensation. So we had many times meeting with the government and the Diet members to talk with this problem and to change and to enlarge this compensation scheme and the evacuation policy. Our appeals are these: repeal of the 20 millisievert standard, stricter limit for children and pregnant women, as in the city of Minamisoma. The national standard was 20 millisievert, but some cities like Minamisoma has original standard for children and pregnant women that is lower standard than the other adults. And we also urged this such standard also to the Fukushima city, which was highly contaminated, but the Fukushima city and the prefecture of Fukushima has denied this. What they have always repeated was they do decontamination, and they have 20 millisievert standard. Position of Fukushima city was also so. They follow the position of the government, and they were concerning about the damage by rumors. This was the information meeting in Fukushima city. The government has informed that they don't set any evacuation points, special evacuation point in the city of Fukushima. So the evacuation on their own was called voluntary evacuation. And these pictures were in July and August against the midterm report of the compensation committee. We also have handed the surveys and the voices of the affected people to TEPCO for compensation. But TEPCO said that they only follow the compensation scheme of the government. And this is the action in front of the MEXT building, Ministry of the Education. So this is the Fukushima prefecture, and the Fukushima city is in the north of Fukushima. And as I showed for the first, the middle of Fukushima was highly contaminated outside of the evacuation zone. Hotspots were especially in the east side of the Fukushima city. But this is the prefecture office, and this Watari district is a very big residential area. So the government has not settled this Fukushima city as evacuation zone or point, because they also have concern about the damage of rumor. But there are so many households, more than 600, and there are also many children. Many children were remaining in the contaminated area more than 1 year. The contamination in that Watari district, in the east side of the Fukushima, was more than 3 microsievert per hour. This was the status in June, July last year. This is the result of automatic survey of the government. So there were many hotspots detected in these areas. And this is the contamination survey in October this year. The hotspots still remaining in this area and also in other cities in Fukushima. And the hotspot is moving from here to another place, but still remain there. The government said that they do decontamination, but the effect of decontamination is very limited because there are mountain area, and this is the Iitate village, highly contaminated. And with the rain or with the wind, the radioactive materials comes always into the city. And this is the decontamination. Decontamination plan is for 2 years, and it is still ongoing. And the removed soil is stored in their backyard of the residents, like this. And there are no place to remove these soils. So the way of decontamination is so like this: remove the soil or wash the houses with high pressure water. So we have urged the government to enlarge the evacuation zone first, and for the adequate compensation, but it was not implemented yet. And then we urged the government for the short-term refreshment for the children. But it has also denied by the government and by the city or by the prefecture. So that's why we have started this voluntary project, Poka Poka project for Fukushima children. Poka Poka, this means warm or heartwarming, like in hot springs. There is a hot spring within the Fukushima city, in the west side. This is the Fukushima station, and this is Watari district in east side, and this is Tsuchiyu hot spring in west side. In this area, in west side, it is less contaminated. The radiation dose there is 0.1 to 0.2 microsievert per hour. So a little bit almost the same as in Tokyo or in Saitama. So we have started this project Poka Poka from January this year. This to support the children and family from this area to these hot springs for the weekends or so 2-3 days for refreshment. We provide the stay at the onsen hotels and provided the children to play outside of the buildings. And these are vegetables from west side of Japan, from not contaminated areas. So these vegetables and rices are donated from all over Japan. Children and family has could have relaxed time at this at the hot springs only for a short time, but they could have released themselves. This project we continue this project still now on, and we are planning to do that until March next year, to provide the children and family relaxed time. So you may heard about this thyroid inspection through news. Thyroid examination was undertaken in the prefecture Fukushima, but this is only for children, limited to children. That is also the problem. But through this examination, more than 13% of the examined children detected this small tobacco or pustule. But for this 30 or 40% of the children in A class, they are not examined, the detailed examination. Detailed examination is 2 years after this examination, and they said that it is no problem. It is only small, say the prefecture and the government. But as you know, by one girl, 16 years girl, the thyroid cancer was also found through this inspection. So now many parents and many mothers are still now considering about moving out from the Fukushima prefecture. But for that, the compensation is not enough, still not enough. But there is one progress in this year, in June. A new law was enacted, Nuclear Accident Child Victims Law. This was submitted by the Diet members, and in cooperation with the citizens and affected people from Fukushima, this new law for the children and the Fukushima victims ensure the people, ensure the residents, and also for the evacuees, the right to live healthy. Then they ensure food safety at home and at school, health examination and medical fee remissions. And for the evacuees, job support, accommodation support, and to both study support for the children and support for children who live apart from their parents, from their family. But this law is not implemented yet, and this is only the framework. The detail is now to be determined, and for that process, decision-making process should be should be the victim, the affected people from Fukushima involved. These details for this law should be discussed with the participation of the people from Fukushima. That is what we, with the people from Fukushima, appealing to the government.